Cinema Worms.
Discussing everything from Grima Wormtongue to the Shy Halib.
I'm Sabib.
And I'm Lindz.
And this is Cinema Worms Podcast. I wore earrings in honor of Mother Mary. These were gifted to me by Lindz for my birthday. I was like, what is the most dramatic earring I can wear?
Weather. In this film.
Yeah.
There's some weather going on.
It's a lot of indoor stuff, though, so I wouldn't say there's so much weather featured.
You're aware that there's some weather. I would argue that some wind is an important aspect of this film because of the, you know what I mean.
Wind. Yeah.
Wind.
I made wind creepy. Okay. This is the latest film from a filmmaker I love, David Lowery. I only have his film The Green Knight tattooed on my arm. Well, the tattoo...
So I guess you don't like him that much.
No, he's all right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The tattoo is like designed by the artist, but then the crown, as you can see.
Green Knight coded.
Yeah, they straight up stolen from it. And crowns are huge in this film. Let's just say.
Halos and head-based...
Sorry, not a crown.
Decorations,
head jewelry. That's just jewelry.
Head jewelry. Well, is it? What about necklaces? I suppose that's neck. That's not head. It's a terrible
What is
intro.
A halo?
You're making fun of my intro.
I know.
It's a shit intro.
I've lost control. Things are off the rails.
This is pure Robert Evans vibes.
So, this is the latest film from David Lowery, who wrote and directed such films as A Ghost Story, The Green Knight, and now Mother Mary. So, this film stars Anne Hathaway as the titular Mother Mary and Michaela Cole again as her estranged former colleague, Sam Anselm.
Yeah, let's call her that.
Yeah, I'll explain more in a bit.
Colleagues.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Mother Mary is this world-famous pop star who's creating music. The level of her fame is modeled after someone like a Taylor Swift and the drama of her shows, but her music is more in line with like a Charlie XCX, FK Twigs, who write music actually for this film. Yeah. So she's preparing for this performance and basically on the verge of a mental breakdown for most of the film.
A quick mentee bee.
A quick mentee bee. No, her mentee bee is very inefficient and prolonged. And she is freaking out doing her costume fitting, but not in a good place. And then she runs away on her private jet to go visit an old friend, a very successful designer, Sam Anselm. And you realize as they begin to talk, because Mother Mary is basically like, I need a dress ASAP. It is an emergency. And Sam's like, you don't have a dress? She's like, no, I need a dress from you. And as they sort of talk back and forth over the course of maybe creating this dress, you realize that Sam was a former creative partner and designer, etc. with Mother Mary.
And they were creative partners.
Yes, they were very, very, very close. Worked together like this until a split. Until Mother Mary wanted something different. Sam saw this as a big betrayal.
Catastrophic.
Diabolical. So they're basically sparring. We would proceed through this sparring, this emotional dance between these two women that goes through all kinds of discussions of friendship, of art, of image, and the wounds between them. And then the film tips over into the surreal. So this is a film that explores music, art, betrayals, emotional artistic connections. Art manifests as something terrifying and what haunts us in our art.
Ooh.
And there are other people in it who are really famous, basically, but they're barely in it, except for an interesting scene with FK Twigs being super odd. Yeah. And the music is from Daniel Hart, who has scored other films like The Green Knight and basically all of David Lowery's films. It's an A24 film. It's giving A24 all the way.
My God, I'd love to write an A24 film.
Yeah. So tell me your thoughts.
Oh, I have so many thoughts. My first one is, as I said to you on the way home, Anne Hathaway is serving so much C-word in this film that we might as well call her See You Next Wednesday. It is... I've never been so strangely attracted to Anne Hathaway, who otherwise just looks too perfectly inhuman, like a deer who has been stuffed into a human suit and is just too perfect to be really attracted to. But I'm like, oh god, I get it. Like, I really... Wow. I wish... Can Anne Hathaway become a pop star? Can we petition for that? Is that a thing that we can do? Please, can it happen? I would go to those shows. My god. It was like every incredible arena tour that I've ever seen was just sort of put together in this. The inspiration, like sort of the Lady Gaga kind of inspired things, like the Taylor Swift, the eras, the music was incredible. I've been listening to the soundtrack on the way home. So first things first, before we even kind of get into the relationship between the two, there was something very interesting to me. Now we talk about this a little bit, like class markers. It's something that I pick up on a lot, being Scottish and having been raised in Britain, and you don't always clock it in the same way because you're American. There are different things going on there, but for me, one of the things that I thought was an interesting choice, was having Michaela Cole speak. She opens the film with like a sort of voiceover. She does a lot of, as I said in the Christopher's review, like I mentioned this for Mother Mary, she does a lot of erudite philosophizing in this film. And it feels like both a way to keep a physical and emotional distance from Anne Hathaway's character, but at the same time, it was an interesting choice to have her do this in this particular accent, because it sounds verging on RP. English, and by that I mean, for international viewers, that is like how the Queen spoke, you know, like the royals. It's very this, and have a cup of tea, and it's very kind of the poshest end of it. She does slide away from that a few times when she's startled, but it's funny because in the actual film she's repeatedly mentioning how she was a working class designer and how there is this kind of bridge, like in terms of experience, and how, like, you know, Anne Hathaway just doesn't get it. But I was like, damn, you're really like going a long way to kind of cover where you've come from, your origins. Anyway, just an interesting point. But yeah, I thought it was going to be more queer, but at the same time, I saw this review that said the only thing less gay would have been if they had actually kissed, and it made me laugh so much because I was like, yeah, no, that is a fair point. There is this absolutely sapphic, kind of homoerotic hate tension that is going on between them for a lot of the film. It is like everyone spends a lot of time crying, which does feel very sapphic. And everyone's like crying and standing at a distance and staring with longing and wanting something, but verbalizing it, but also not verbalizing it at the same time. And it is all about like, where do our insecurities come from? When we try to do things with art, you know, do we understand what we mean? Do we have a person in our lives who understands truly who we are and what we mean? When you get to that level of fame, that kind of I'm selling out arenas kind of level of fame, you have a team around you, but they are just kind of a herd. And it's a shame, as you pointed out, there's other people, there's I want to say Shan, what's her name? It's not, is it Murray? What's her name? She was in Fleabag, she played the sister, and she was in Space Force as well. Shan Clifford.
Yeah, she's in that other show.
I really liked her. She's not really there.
She's barely in it. She's such a good, funny comedian.
I know.
Comedic actress.
And then why would you cast haughty Hunter Schafer and then not let her do anything?
Can I just say, I'm not trying to brag.
Schafer, but
I mean, okay. Yeah, she's gorgeous. Not to brag, but since I lived in New York for so long, I have seen Hunter Schafer, Michaela Cole, and Anne Hathaway like within close distance of me in various situations. So that was cool.
I mean,
and I, of course, I acted cool, and I just was like,
that's pretty cool. I have been to the Queen's Garden Party, but it's not the same. I wasn't within touching range. I mean, I could have thrown a rock and hit her, but they generally don't like you to do that to the Queen. So, and I didn't. I just want you to know I didn't do that. You can't prosecute me. Nothing happened. Nobody can prove anything. So, anyway, back to the film. It was a little bit of a shame that but at the same time, it did make the fact that we have most of the film where we are so in this kind of barn, we're in it's a really big space, but it manages to feel really claustrophobic, and we're stuck with Michaela Cole and Anne Hathaway sniping and yearning at each other for like 2 hours. It feels like their relationship is claustrophobic. They are living a bubble. Even when other people are around, it's just them, like one-on-one, really. They're not paying attention to other people. And they're trying to kind of cover up whatever. It was very interesting. I am obsessed with this film. I was worried I was going to make it my whole personality. It's certainly becoming a part.
Oh, you did start like, okay, I'm ready for this to be my whole personality. And I was like, you better temper your expectations.
Oh.
Never mind. I
tempered them.
I don't know why I said that.
I fired them in a kiln.
Everything about it.
It was just nuts. And like, the songs are really good. And as I said before, like, I don't think you know this because you've not seen Les Mis, but Anne Hathaway is a fantastic singer, right? We know this anyway. But Anne Hathaway is such a perfectionist that in Les Mis there's a scene when she's singing, and it was in like, I can't remember the exact location. It was like a dockyard, it was like a fish market. It reeked. And the crew they were like, Anne Hathaway nails it on the first shot. Of course she does, because it's Anne Hathaway. They went, thank God, okay, we'll do another one for safety, and then please let's get out of here, it reeks. And Anne Hathaway made them do take after take after take because she wasn't sure she was getting it right. And I stan a perfectionist queen who like just wants to make sure she is delivering the best. I'm sure if I had to smell fish for like 8 hours, I would also be annoyed at Anne Hathaway. But you know what? I would smell fish for 8 hours for Anne Hathaway. That's what I do. I stand in a fish market for her. Damn it. I respect the craft. I respect the woman. You let her cook, man. She's doing amazing. She's always been doing amazing.
In this film.
Yeah. She's always cooked in every film. Show me a bad Anne Hathaway film. People hate on her because she is just
I think
good.
They're past that. I think
but they did for a long time.
They did.
Yeah,
and
for
I
no
think
reason.
she has just proven that she is too talented and self-assured for that to even be relevant. And
thank God. It could have gone the other way. It could have ruined her. And I'm like, good for you, man. But that probably took some like guts.
She's
so
radiant.
good.
She's really good in this, and also it's such a physical. I mean, the whole film is very like,
oh my gosh,
tactile and physical.
There's a dance.
Yeah,
I don't want to talk about it, but there is a dance portion.
Holy shit!
Wow. And I'm always a bit wary of that. Do you remember when we saw The Beast? There's a little dance section in The Beast. It's not by either of the main characters. It's clearly a performance art piece that they're watching. And afterwards I said to you, like, how did you like the dance? Because that was the second time I saw it. And we both agreed that it was, in another film, it would have been like, oh, it's a bit cheesy or whatever, but you could tell that the dancer was putting their everything into it, and it really worked. That's hard to do. I often feel like, oh, I'm too aware that I'm watching a dance, or I'm watching someone do some expressive thing, and I can point at those two of The Beast and Mother Mary and go, I completely believed this. I believed that character was delivering something that they could not say with their mouth. They had to say it in some other way. Like, your soul trying to be ripped from your body. Yeah, it was
scary.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's, okay, it's musically rapturous, although I did say, like, maybe...
Rapturous, such a good word.
Yeah. I wrote it in preparation.
Divine.
Absolutely spellbinding.
I agree with all these words. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so obviously, you know, I like a Daniel Hart score, as you've complained about me listening to the Green Knight soundtrack.
I just don't know that it's the most relaxing album that you could be listening to while you are writing. It's a little bit screechy. And it's also a little bit scary. So it sort of feels like some serial killers walking around your house while you're trying to type. It's just a bit alarming to me.
Yeah, this is definitely different. I will say, like, obviously if it's a film about music, there's a lot of music. But sometimes I felt like the score was too present. Maybe I just wanted more quiet, because it is such a intimate film at times. Like, a lot of the time. But
no, I agree.
It's a lot. The film is, like, you got to go with it. You've got to go with it.
Yeah.
It is.
You got to lean in.
It is just, it's so full on. So you have to just go with it and believe it. And then you'll be transported. And yeah, I think it's just the emotionality and the artistic sincerity and the intensity is right there.
Yeah.
So if you're not willing to go with that intensity, you might be like, us too much, let's try hard, because you can't handle it. Yeah. Essentially.
It's your fault. The problem is between screen and chair.
Yeah.
It's you.
It's not even
You're
like
the problem, it's you.
of course it's like it's not, we didn't come out of it thinking this was perfect.
No.
We were super like kind of like whoa, shell shocked, and also fascinated.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the more we've been thinking about it, the more we like further love it. But it's not like it's perfect, but we still love it anyway because of its intense ambition.
You know what?
And beauty.
I would posit that if it was perfect, I would love it less. I actually, the more I think about it, yeah, as you just said, you're right. I like it more the more I think about it. Even though I was obsessed with it while I was watching it, I remember thinking I really like this. And as we came out, we both went, damn, okay, that was great. It's not a perfect film, you're completely right to say that, I agree. And at the same time, the flaws that it has makes it feel like it is its own unique individual thing. For me, there was a little bit too much philosophizing and, you know, trying to sort of put in this quote worthy Instagram, like, you know, repeat core stuff. It was not exactly that. It wasn't portrait, but you know what I mean? Just like describing something in this way that just, I was like, oh, keep that for the song lyrics, you know, I don't need that. But at the same time, it really works. That is who this character is. That is how it appears to be how she thinks because it's how she talks. At the same time, it is a facade that she's putting on. She is doing her own performance, Michaela Cole. It might not be in an arena like Anne Hathaway, but she's sure as hell putting on her own performance. She's putting up a front. This is not exactly how she really thinks about things. There are moments when you strip back that mask and you get to see her real, vulnerable, true self. Just as you get to see Anne Hathaway's. Just because Anne Hathaway turns up at her house looking like a drowned rat and not Lady Gaga, you get that physical vulnerability there. And of course you see the emotion a lot. But with Michaela Cole, it is a much more subtle thing. When the mask falls, therefore, it's even more interesting. Like,
absolutely.
Anne Hathaway's somebody at the end of her rope. Michaela Cole thinks she has a bit more rope to go, but does she?
And yeah, it's beautifully acted. These characters are fascinating, just like you described, in their intensity. And it's also just gorgeous film. The visuals are insane.
It's dark, but it's like, do you know how like a lot of things are dark now, but like in a crap way where you're like, I genuinely don't know if this is night or like what's going on. It was really dark, but at the same time, I never felt that it was so dark I couldn't make out what was going on. So well done to the lighting person for managing it. And also there were things that were lighting up as if we were looking at something on a theater stage sometimes as well. Felt very surreal. But like, yeah, I wasn't wearing my glasses and I never had to squint like I've done with some of the TV that we've seen. You know.
I'm just okay. If you buy in, you will love it.
Yeah.
I think so. And if not, fair enough. But you suggested maybe seeing it again. I'd love to.
You know, it's been a while since I saw a film in the cinema that I liked so much that I would see it a second time. And so, you know, we have memberships to the local cinema, and it's not very expensive. You can really see like a bunch of films, kind of unlimited in a month. It's whatever. And I feel like, despite that, there are always so many films out. You know, there's multiple cinemas in like every city. It's something that, you know, there's things that you can see. Some of them are indies, some of them are like only show big blockbusters. There's always more films than you really have time to see. But at the same time, every now and again there comes a film that is worth seeing twice. And the only two that I can remember in more recent memory is I saw Ready or Not, the first one, twice. And I saw The Favourite twice in cinemas. I regret neither of those. They were worth it. And I think this is one of those films that, as you're going through it, the experience that you experience for the first time it's wonderful and it's fantastic. But I think knowing what you know by the end of the film, watching it for a second time will reveal even more little details. And it's a very tactile film, isn't it? Like you get to see Michaela Cole, like she's always like cutting or crimping something or moving. It feels like you get the sensory, like you get little crinkles and stuff. We were sitting quite far up the back, so we must have been like close to the speakers there as well. And I felt like we were getting like every little kind of sensory detail in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was neat.
Final comment on the supernatural or surreal stuff, horror stuff. That I think I did say like, oh, I wish there had been more moments of that horror they'd leaned in because it was quite frightening and creepy at times, of course. So I don't know if I care about that really. It's not a horror film exactly. So
the trailer maybe made it look more horror.
But there are moments where it is like
it is.
It's just
for sure
disturbing or scary or it's like haunting. But that let us know maybe in the comments what you make if you've seen it of the whole surreal, maybe supernatural element. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm not spoiling it. Yeah, I'm so glad that we both liked it. It was fun to see together.
Let's go see it again.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it. Wait. Mwah. Show them.
Me. I want to.
Oh, wait.
No, Billy.
Let's keep that all in.